Okay, folks, good evening. And be warned, there's going to be children cackling sounds in the background. My daughter has her friends over one last time. She'll be going to college in less than a week, so this is kind of her last hurrah. She's got a couple friends over, so if you're not into listening to girls giggling, this may not be a good feed for you. So anyways, as the description is, I decided to go ahead and start working on the Brummbar. And I did an unboxing of it really quick, as you guys will see it as well. I don't get a lot of viewers on this stuff, so if I steal your thunder, well, so be it. But this is what we're going to be building. The Sturmpanzer IV Brummbar. This is a kit from like the mid-'80s. It might even be earlier than that. But a couple things that came in it. It was advertised as a new kit from Noble Knight, and the box is old, which is fine. I'm not going to do anything with the box other than throw it away. And but it didn't have any instructions, which is strange. But yet it had decals, and actually the decals look like they're in good shape. So there's a little thing called ScaleMates, which is a modeler's website, and people upload instructions, and here's the instructions for this kit. So I just printed them up momentarily, and I probably could have put it together without the instructions, but it's just good to go ahead and have them. So pretty easy to do. I could have also not printed it, but I would have had to go in between two screens. So we're going to put this puppy together. It is the rubber band track, which I am not a fan of, but I don't detest. We'll be able to make them work. And one of the things that I mentioned is it looks like this has been pre-painted or something. It's almost like somebody had given it a wash or something. It's just really weird. It's not mold or anything. It's almost like they gave it some kind of started giving it a black wash, like, F it, let's sell this kit to Noble Knight. I'm not going to hold it against Noble Knight because, honestly, they have so much inventory that they probably didn't go in there and notice that this kit was kind of used. This is really the only used portion of it. But, I'm not going to dink them for that. So, anyhow, no instructions and kind of a half-finished thing. Of all the pieces you could put together, you would think that they would ask you to put some of this superstructure together. Nope. Boom. One piece. So I am probably not going to put Zimmerit on it. I'm going to use this as one from Kursk, which did not have Zimmerit. This is where they did their debut. And but this is what we're going to try to put together tonight. We're going to put this thing together. One of these days I got to stop building and start painting, but the whole house situation is kind of in limbo. I don't want to make a big mess and then have to pick it up before showing, so it's kind of keeping me back, but it's not, because I'm still making progress. I'm doing stuff I got to do anyways, so that's where we're at this evening. Happy Friday. Now it's Happy Friday, not at the beginning of the day. And for those of you who have to work tomorrow, Mitch, sucks to be you. It's a long freaking week. And actually, today's the only day this week I felt worth a damn. Every other day this week I felt terrible with a pinched neck or something else. So, okay. Right, so let's start off with, well, right off the bat, it says there's a couple of pieces that we don't need to use. So there's some stuff in here that isn't going to get used. So, and it wants me to put all the road wheels on there before I put the halves on there. That is weird. Well, one thing I've learned is don't listen to people sometimes. Don't listen to people sometimes. Let's see if the halves fit together okay. And if they don't, then we definitely will have to put the hull together first. So we got our Tamiya clippers. Let's go to the overhead view, and let's do a couple things here. Let's go and do rotate, and flip like that. So you guys are seeing it at the same angle that I am, somewhat. Okay. And let's eliminate this, so if you guys write something interesting, I can respond to it. Okay, so let's take the two halves here of the hole. One of the many pins or 4 holes from Eschi. It has begun. I don't mind bending over at home because it's about 30 degrees cooler here than at work. Maybe even cooler than that. The Wolfman cometh. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so there we go. Got the super readers R, as I like to call them. These are 375s. So I'm not going to dick Noble Knight. They have done me right. Even though I keep encountering... Now there's a piece missing here. This should have a little notch like this. And it's totally missing it. Like it's snapped off. So somehow this was a pre-used kit of some form. And it was sold as not pre-used. So I don't know what kind of paint this is, but this is an opportunity to try one of my discoveries out. I don't know if it's going to do any good, but I might as well try. I'm going to take a paintbrush and some hand sanitizer. And if this is water-based paint, it should come off. And if not, it'll be clean enough to eat off of. Might be enamel. Well, something's rubbing off. When your shop grows up, you want to be Noble Knight. I don't know. I don't know how things are in Malaysia. There's way too much government interference in this country for me to have my own business. It's hard enough to like have a profit and everything, but I swear they just create extra laws just to try to catch you on one. And Noble Knight is so big, there's no way one person could do it all. I mean, it's big. It is really, really big. I was impressed. Well, it looks like there's some kind of a coating on here, and some of it's coming off. I mean, you won't be able to tell after I airbrush it, so it's not that big of a deal. It's not like part of it was put together and it was put together poorly. And like I said, they really did me right. They told me, oh, you're going to get this much credit, and they actually gave me twice as much credit they were going to. So I'm really not going to dink them on that. I don't think they were conscious that it was this stuff's coming off. So it's not like they were trying to be nefarious or something like that. Look, it's one kit out of 60, maybe. Taxes here kill. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Don't even get me started. I'm only anti-tax because people in government can't spend money. You know, we have this road that you guys hear sometimes. Okay, I don't think they've never paved it since we've been here. We've been here 20 years. They keep putting a little patch, and it rains and it pops off. And I'm literally, luckily my vehicle's all-wheel drive, but I will drive so I don't fall in that rut every time. And it's like, what are you guys doing with the taxes? If you can't spend them, then don't collect anymore. But government is incompetent everywhere. And I'm not saying big business is not, a bunch of assholes either. It just depends. Now, there's a little bit of a layer on this. This is kind of coming off a little bit. I just kind of wanted to see if this would even do anything. My one invention. This is the one I will take credit for. Somebody else might have come up with this too, but I certainly don't know about it. I've gotten ideas from other people on lots of different things, but I stumbled across this one. Yeah, have you watched their video of their walk around of their warehouse? It's impressive. It's like a large library. I almost feel like I'm the dentist and I'm giving this thing a cleaning. Yeah, they have one on YouTube. Go look up Noble Knight on YouTube. And it's a fairly lengthy video where they go through and they've got everything. It looks like they've got it really well categorized. It's a couple years old, so I can only imagine how much more stuff they have there. But in my store, you value variety without Games Workshop. Well, when I worked at a hobby store in the early 90s, we had hobby store / game store. We had Games Workshop products back when they were called Citadel. And I think I finally shaped it, but I actually liked it when they were called Citadel. But anyways, at the time, the problem that we had with it is that you had to order a minimum of restocking. So you couldn't just restock, $50 worth or whatever. You had to order a ton to restock at that time. So they wanted to really control you the way you ran your business. And I can only imagine it's probably worse now. Almost like, well, I want to restock this. Well, in order to give you this, you have to get some Age of Sigmar boxes. Well, I already have 3 of them. Sorry, you got to buy 2 more. I can just imagine them doing shit like that. I hope I'm wrong. I want to reorder paints. Well, we can't just sell you paints. Well, I'm going to do a bunch of paints. Well, you got to buy some Sigmar stuff or some Warhammer 40K. It's part of the deal. Like, you got to sign this contract. Or what kind of free market bullshit is that? I said it's hard enough to run a business. It's hard enough to run a business. Money in, money out. Pay yourself. Figure out how much taxes are going to be. To then, all the other pitfalls that government may put in the way, like, oh, you didn't have this one poster for, this one OSHA poster, but I don't have any employees, it's just me. Sorry, you're getting fined $2,000 because you didn't know that you had to have this poster. Nah, I couldn't have my own business. I'd go nuts. I'd be in one of them straitjackets, just back and forth in a corner. Okay. You don't hire anybody, do you? Wolfman, I would imagine you don't. difficult. I mean, I think in Southeast Asia, I'm one of the few who bring Essex, for example. There should be all kinds of cool Asian stuff that should be made there. You know, there's all kinds of cool Asian lines that don't... Chinese stuff. Like, I don't like the idea of Chinese stuff because, you know, it's not the Chinese people. They're in a bad situation. But they make some quality stuff there. They really do. They make some junk too, but, you know, they make junk here too. So, you work alone. Yeah, even if you don't have your own business, it's hard to leave work in the hands of somebody else. Like, I don't have anybody to cover for me. So, it's a pain for me to go on vacation. It's not even my own business. But you know what? The difference is I'm not thinking about the place right now. So, okay, so we got 10 and 11, which are these two pieces here. It's these two sprocket wheels. Oh, we're gonna see how this fits on here. See, I have a little bit of soda, and I'm like, ooh, shiny. Ooh, plastic's pretty brittle. Gotta be careful. Salesperson to janitor. Sorry, the bathrooms are only for employees. You could probably write a whole book on the stuff that you found in a bathroom. People are nasty. We actually had a problem with people using the bathroom at my place of business that come from other countries. And the problem that they have is that they don't flush the toilet. So they'll go number 2 and they won't flush the toilet. Now see, here's what doesn't make any sense. If I come from a country where you can't flush things down the toilet because the plumbing isn't that great, and I show up at this heavenly place called America, where you basically can flush anything down the toilet, from paper towels to small animals. I'd be flushing everything, not, you know, be like, oh, I don't want to flush anything, you know? I would think it'd be the opposite problem. They'd be trying to put like small cars in there, you know? That was a big to-do because they'd gone to the bathroom. They were visiting. They'd gone to the bathroom, made some wonderful creation in the bathroom, and weren't embarrassed. They wanted to share it with everybody. They didn't flush it. Luckily, I didn't walk into one of these pieces of modern art. But they did put a memo out. If you're going to use the bathroom, don't forget to flush the toilet. It's like you're sending the memo out to everybody who never had a problem flushing the toilet. How about just man up and tell the people that are here from other places, look, please flush the toilet. All right, let's see what the fit and finish is on this. Yeah, it's not great. So I'm not going to put these little road wheels on there. And then I have to try to put these two pieces together. And then I end up breaking the stuff I put on there. Tony knows best. I've been bent that way before. Okay. Gamers and toilets. Why do they always miss their targets? Well, that's a human thing. Bars are terrible. We went out to a fancy restaurant yesterday. One of those restaurants where Your entree is just your entree. Doesn't even include any sides or anything like that. And the bathroom was a mess. Bathroom was just I could say a shit show, but it wasn't a shit show. Shit show. In this corner, a turd of unusual size. Alright, let's hope this puppy quells up together alright. Does Warlord Games put all those restrictions on you buying stuff as well, or that's just a... Because I know there's some... I don't really know the history. I know that there's some commonality between the original Games Workshop crew, who I don't know who they are because I've never played Games Workshop stuff. The people that started Games Workshop and have now moved on to either work at other companies or start their own companies. Is it just Games Workshop that does that kind of controlling thing? They spend too much money on advertising. You know, advertising isn't free, and they got to recoup that somewhere. That's what I'm thinking is what it is. Although it could be one of those corporate things, you know, with you know, they got too big and they got stockholders and they're making decisions that don't necessarily benefit you and me. Warlord Games are fantastic. Okay, great. You know, you shouldn't make it difficult for people that are trying to put your products out there. It's kind of a limited hobby, and there's not like there's that many hobby stores doing it. That's why it floored me when I went to this store in Miami a couple of weeks ago, last month or something like that. And they were just flat out nefariously rude, but that's just typical Miami. Dickhead Central. And, you know, you can't piss off people that are modelers. There's not enough of them. It's not like, I'm just going to piss off everybody that comes in this guy that comes in a Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that. Well, lots of people go into the sporting goods place, or, you know, Walmart. You can piss off like thousands of people to go to Walmart, and people still go to Walmart. You'll still have plenty of customers. Doesn't make it right, but I'm just saying, you know, you don't want to tick off people that there's kind of a limited number of them anyways. We're going to have to spoon feed this thing for a little bit. That's okay. We don't have any big plans tonight. Some of these older kits have different type of plastic sometimes. Sometimes it works better, sometimes not so good. Get this to grab a little bit and we'll put a rubber band around it as well. But you got to be careful with the rubber band because it will, you know, if it's too tight, it'll end up making it glue at a weird angle. It needs to be pretty close to 90 degrees. Yeah, I couldn't wait for this week to be over. I think every day this week got over real feel over 120 degrees. It was just miserable. I don't care so much about the weekend. I can hide from the sun on the weekend, but on the work day, I had to stop and take breaks walking around. Gonna go get some breakfast. Good luck with the kit. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Man, I'm ready for breakfast myself. What if they eat British breakfast there? Do people eat American breakfast in somewhere other than America? Probably not. I forgot to go to the craft store and buy some pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners are really good at this because you can put it around and then tighten it a little bit at a time and tighten however tightness you want. That's kind of cool. This will work just fine. It's just not a. There's better solutions out there. We gotta let this grab a little bit before we put the other side on. But yeah, if you go and you put all these wheels on and then you realize that these two sides don't fit together really well, now you have to do this with a bunch of wheels and sprockets in the way, and hopefully you don't break any of them. There's a 1/72nd scale Panther model that I built, or attempted to build, about when I was 14. And I don't remember who the manufacturer was, but it came in a bag. And it came with a 3-piece hull like this. And, geez, this is all like limping stuff. It came with a 3-piece hull like this. And it was so warped that it could touch in the middle here, but then there was like almost like it seemed like a 1/4-inch gap on the ends. So I needed to bend it back. I'm 14 years old. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't have any experience to draw from. I never glued it together. It never got glued. And it pissed me off. I didn't build that Panther tank, whoever the hell the manufacturer is. But this was not really warped that much, so. All right, let's take this off. See how this is getting by. Okay. Let's take this off because it's over bending it, and this is nice and sticky. This is grabbed enough that we can attach the other side now. More than patience, one of the things that's really helpful is make sure you're not building something that you have a timetable on. Like, I gotta get this done tonight. That's a problem. Something's gonna go sideways. I don't like being rushed with my hobby. It'll take as long as it takes. It's not like I don't want to get it done. It's just, sometimes things don't go according to plan. Now, if this was a UMMT kit, all these little pieces, I'd have to build them myself. That's just sadistic. There's going to be a long time before those T26s are done. Oh, this came undone now. All right. All right. We'll just hold this for a second. So where do we go next in that? We don't want to do the run. We don't want to do the running gear. I guess we start building the upper hull, which there's not much to. That's the other piece of instructions. Let's see here. We are going to put the shirts in on here. Funny that the font that they chose almost looks like Curious George, the man in the yellow hat. don't know, something about that font just reminds me of that. I'm not going to make any of the hatches open on this one. Especially with this not being a, not having a whole machine gun. Which means it's probably an early version anyway, so we're not going to put Zimmerit on it. Later on, they ended up, and I'm not a Brummbar expert by any stretch of the imagination, but they did put like a ball machine gun mount up here. Kind of like the one that was on the front of the Panther. And this one doesn't have that. So it literally has a 150 millimeter L11, if I remember correctly, infantry gun. It's just one big HE. Va! Bunker buster. Okay, I think this can be trusted to sit there by itself, and if it does flex a little bit, that's a good thing about this glue. It's not super glue, you know. It's not like, oh, it's cured, now you got to break it apart. You can still fondle it a little bit. Try not to get excited. All right. Let's make sure this guy's closed. It is. All right. There are some of these tabs that came on here. This was pre-broken off. And if you think, well, I'm not going to get anything from Noble Knight because Tony got something that looks like it's been tampered with. This is 1 in 60. Those are pretty good odds. Okay, and this was really inexpensive. This was like $8 or something like that. It's not like this was a very expensive model. So I've had really good experiences with Noble Knight. The only thing I wish, I wouldn't even call it a quibble, is I wish they would answer their emails a little faster, but they got a lot going on. They got a lot on their plate. I plan on hiding indoors as much as I can this weekend. I think Sunday is going to be like a record. What's wrong with it? It came used. And it's got a couple pieces broken. Looks like somebody tried to paint this ahead of time. You can see that. Some of it. It's not a big deal, but I'm glad it came to me. I can deal with it. Somebody else might not be able to deal with it. I don't think they did it nefariously. I just think they got a lot of stuff going on. Somebody traded something in. They just assumed it was unbuilt. It wasn't. It was messed with just a little bit, and they just passed it on to me. No big deal. Shit happens. They've been good to me, so. All right. We have a back plate to put on here. Typical horrible Eschi instructions. Everybody else call them Eschi or ESCI? We always call them Eschi. Right or wrong, that's what we called them. Oh, this plastic is very, very brittle. Tread carefully. Okay, we got two side pieces here, 43 and 23. Yeah, this is an all-purpose Panzer IV thing because here's the side doors to it. And there's obviously no side doors on the turret. So this actually is probably a really good candidate for some of these parts for me to use my mold making thing. But I don't even make shovels that bad. I don't know. This was really time consuming just to make one idler wheel. Here's the gun cleaning kits. Well, those might have been handy to use with my Panzer 4Ds. Oops. Well, they're built. I don't have to worry about that anymore. What else we got on here? Piece 45. Piece 45 goes around the cannon. Oh, and they're not marked on here? Primitive kit. This is 34. 45 is this one. All right, let's cut that thing out. All right. What else goes on there? Piece number 3 is the headlight. Is there only one? Oh, there's only one. Well, we're going to have to get the cannon out. The business end of the 150 here. Oh, look what I found. There's 2 different backs. .55 is this one, not this one that has the radio thing in the back. That's like for the Model H. Okay. Hey Nordic, I'm building a Brummbar. A used Brummbar, I should say. It is not a virgin Brummbar. Did you get my text of those pictures of the Scharnhorst? I sent them to you that same day. I don't think you did. You should check your Facebook Messenger more often. Somebody might send you pictures of, like, you know, blondes and Japanese girls or something. You might not want to wait a week to see them. There's some great paint schemes in there. The Scharnhorst was the favorite ship of my original Mitch. Back when we did naval. That was his favorite ship. No, I haven't sent you any, but I may. Gotta be on your toes, man. All right. How is this coming along? Yeah, see, you could glue it and then you can finagle with it a little bit. So I really like this weld type of cement. Okay, we got some other pieces that are going to fit on these 2 sides, and this is 23 and 43. All right, well, we got to go to this thing and find out what pieces those are. 43 is on the one that had the hatch. It should be these 2 pieces, because that's kind of what they look like. But it may not be. This is 43. Odd. Okay. Man, the girls are wound up. Like a freaking lunchroom out there. And 23 is the other one. 23 is located. Oh, and didn't even have any instructions either. There's no instructions with this, which I just went on ScaleMates and printed it. Like I said, this came to the right person because, like, I can deal with that. Oh, it's 43 and 24 and 23. Yikes. Okay. Well, here they are, right next to each other, like I said. These two pieces here, so we'll take them out as well. I don't mind building rare vehicles, but I don't want to build... There's a difference between a vehicle that they made 50 of and a vehicle that they made 2 of, okay? So, you know, if you're building something rare like a Yag Tiger or something like that, you know, they made a handful of them, but I forget exactly how many of them, but it's I want to say just shy of 100. I could be wrong. But if you're doing something like a Dicker Max 2, the Sturer Emil 2. If you're doing the Command version of the Porsche Tiger 1, they made 1. Meaning, you know, the Tiger 1 it was used as a command vehicle in an elephant group. You know, so you're really backing yourself into a corner if you're building these strange vehicles. There's only 2 of them. You know, if you're building something like that, you're like, they didn't get painted like that. Well, how do you know? I said, well, they only made 2 of them, and neither one of them was painted that way. Damn near choked on a piece of hamburger from your taco. Huh. Death by taco. You haven't been on Facebook since last night? What the hell you been doing all day, man? There's so much hobby stuff on Facebook. You know, I don't get on there for any of the arguments and BS. There's a lot of good hobby related stuff on there. Death by taco. Your people you live with, are they trained in CPR? If my daughter's choking on something, I don't remember. I don't remember. I gotta call somebody. I don't want to do more damage than. I mean, you take those classes, but I don't remember. That was freaking 20 years ago. No, they're not trained at all. You walk 6 miles and been job hunting, cooking dinner for 2 9-year-olds. Oh, man. You can have the 9-year-olds. All right. Let's take a look at these two. It's not flat on that side, so this is the flat side. This one should go like this. This one should go like this, and it matches with the hinges there. All right, so let's go ahead and put those 2 in there. Nine-year-olds. What's their biggest problem? I know there's something you don't like about them. And you didn't raise them, so it's not your fault. The finicky eaters. So many kids are finicky eaters. And the parents it's the freaking parents' fault. I don't eat tacos with hamburger. I only eat tofu tacos. Yeah, get out of here. I really detest tofu. And it's funny because the actual soybean is pretty cool. Like, edamame and stuff. Edamame is pretty awesome. Make them into a paste. They have no taste, and the little bit of taste that they have is horrible. They don't always listen to you. Their parents don't discipline them at all. Oh, F that. I can't discipline them because then he won't be my friend. You're a parent, man. I don't like you anyways. My daughter would take her friends, go on a trip or whatever, and except one of her friends, and she had a problem with lactose stuff, so it's not her fault. She'd still eat it, but she would feel like crap. That girl would eat anything, and my daughter's really good about it. My daughter's a little finicky about what she'll eat for breakfast, and she's gotten better about it. But none of this. I don't eat it. It's a vegetable. That stuff never flew. That never flew. And she would have a couple kids that would travel with her. We'd take them with her or whatever. Let's take a couple of her friends. Oh, all I eat is macaroni and cheese and chicken tenders and grilled cheese. I'm like, how can you eat that stuff and then be like this? Blow over in a heavy wind. Anyhow. Let them get away with that kind of stuff. I had to go to food boot camp. I had to eat all kinds of stuff I didn't want to eat. And it's actually beneficial as an adult. They've learned that when I tell them to stop doing something, they stop doing that. At first, they just looked at me like I had frogs in your head. I think that's what that says. I can't see it because I have that stupid heart there in the corner. If I want to press it, I don't want to press a damn heart. My daughter was always really good at, don't touch that, and she wouldn't touch it. Not like, oh, you mean this? You mean this thing right here? This thing I shouldn't touch? You mean this thing that I'm touching right now? I'd be like, snap. Never had to do that with her. You tell them, don't touch the freaking range. You're gonna get hurt, and then I gotta take you to the damn emergency room. See, I don't dislike kids. I just dislike other people's kids. And I'm old school. I'm telling you, I'm old school. And I'm proud of being old school. I got a neighbor who lives next to my mom. Mom lives 8 houses down, right? And these guys are from England. Barnes, you claim them. They're from England. And he looks like a normal dude. And she looks like a hippie kaye all the way. And they got a couple kids. It's supposedly a boy and a girl, and I can't tell which one the girl is, if you know what I'm saying. Like, dude, get the kid a haircut. Like, it's 120 degrees, man. Who the hell wants to be that covered in like a, you got more hair than a Yeti. Yep, that shit wouldn't fly with me. Your son is still a picky eater at 32. My 3 daughters have no eating issues. Excellent. And they're used to eating British food, so they really have no eating issues. I remember I was on Reddit or something like that, and this one guy posted something along the lines of, because I get like feeds I'm not even following. As one feed is, is British food really that bad? And this person commented, if made correctly, yes. I doubled off, we're laughing. I'm a picky eater, but a lot of that has to do with digestive issues. Okay, that doesn't count. Okay, that doesn't count, Nordic. You're absolved of that. That's not your choosing. Just like her friend that's lactose intolerant. That girl would probably eat us out of a home. She eats like a linebacker. But it's good, You order something and you eat everything on your plate. It's not like, I don't want that. You order this much food and you only eat this much and want to throw. Now, you don't throw food away. You don't throw food away. Oh, we got a problem here. This is supposed to fit there and it doesn't. You slack jaw. All right, Brummbar picture time. Yeah, you can't pick the stuff that you have. Just like me, I had great skin. Until I got psoriasis. Shit happens, we don't get to pick what we have. And I got a really mild version of it. So, I like to forget I have it. Which explains why I forget to take my freaking medicine, like I already did. So, let me go take my anti-leprosy pill. Actually, what I really need is to be out there wearing like a freaking bathing suit at work. I wouldn't have any, because I don't have any anytime that I get all the vitamin D from the sun. Let's pay attention. Let's take the right medicine. We do not need ibuprofen. Jesus. I think I've done drugs or something like that. I always forget to take these, then I get itchy. All right, let's go look up some Brummbar pictures. I'm sure we'll solve this. There's also food I can't eat because I can't chew it. Nope, not your fault. Sorry, I'm just calling it like I see it. I mean, if you're allergic to peanuts and you're like, I don't eat peanuts, you're not gonna fucking die just to prove me wrong. You didn't get to pick that. Now, if you're a sissy, it says I don't like raisins because that's different. I don't like the texture of tomatoes. You're a picky eater. Brummbar. All right. Images. Should just get the instructions from Tamia and move on. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to pop this thing off. Well, no, it's got to be there. No. We can cut this thing down to make it fit, like you said. Let's see if we have to do that or it's just flat out in the wrong place. Or I was misled to where it goes. Ha ha, there's always that. As it seems that this picture shows, according to, is this Mr. Francois Verlinden? It is not. This is a dragon model, and according to this dragon model, this thing sits vertically. Well, that's unique. Okay. You know, we have this great technology called the internet, and it is a valuable resource. It is a valuable, valuable resource. Okay, that one seems to be propped up. You can't tell where it goes with these old 1974 instructions. So let's look at somewhere else. We need to look at that side. Here's one from Cyber Hobby. And that one's also propped up. Okay. That's cool. One more. Let's take a look at another one here. Yep. Propped up. Propped up. Okay. Well, we solved that issue. I love peanuts, but I can't eat them because of diverticulitis. I also can't eat anything with seeds, because if I do, chances are I'm good diverticulitis. Jeez. Yeah, the D. You got a case of the D. Flares up at hospital, I'll be visiting. Yeah. Not your fault, unless you picked it. I want to get this disease, I can't eat everything. Well, it's your own fault then. But since you didn't do that, I've said it before, everybody's got something. I don't have a problem eating anything. Can't you tell? I like to eat. And I don't mind eating healthy things. I just don't want to eat, something small like this. I make a salad. By God, it's a salad. You don't wish it on anybody? What about somebody who deserves it? Still no? Okay. The headlight. There should only be one here. There she is. I'm gonna make sure it's the right piece one. It's so archaic to have the pieces not labeled on here. We're looking for piece 3. There it is, piece 3. Huge list of candidates. And they earned it. Yeah, just don't wish me being blind. That wouldn't be good. I don't think I'd do well being blind. Or the shakes. I don't want the shakes. I got too many things to build. Well, this isn't gluing worth a crap. Silly Italians. Okay. Maybe I should switch glues. Switch back to the Tamiya one. See if we have better results with that. I never thought that that would make a difference, but apparently it does. This is the one with a bad end. Glue's still good. I'll just use it to replace this one. Okay. That was a nice sound. Now here's interesting. It's got the little block to put on for the jack here, but no jack. That's going to be really hard to jack something up with no jack. Does it go on the back maybe? No, all this shit is just suspect. All the time. Damn, I'm not paying for anything I want to do myself. That's right. Illegal things that you would do yourself, except you don't want to get caught. Let's see how this fits in the back. You insolent flying paper. There we go. Okay, fit on the fronts. No wonder this company went out of business. No wonder this company went out of business. This is some sorry thing. I guess it's alright. We could make it work. We could putty this thing. It'll end up looking good when we're done with it. Boy, this is just continuing wanting to be a little fill in the blank. Barnes has, not only does he have a list, he has a huge list. Huge. Huge has got to be at least hundreds. Esci. Esci. E-S-C-I. The pride of Italia. All right. The inside of this is going to be this piece. where the ball fits in there. And this is going to go inside like this, and then like this. Well, that's not supposed to happen. All right, we need to, is there one side of this that's flat? I bet it's towards the bottom. Let's go ahead and glue that in place. Yeah, I don't think we want to leave this pointed like this. Mountain men. No. Doesn't sound like there'd be very many attractive females on mountain men. Actually fine with it being over a little bit at an angle. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It doesn't have to be like straight, but you don't care for hunting, but I do like fishing. Yeah, I wouldn't hunt. Unless it was, child molesters or something that's chasing you, but then it's not really hunting, it's more self-defense kind of thing. Right. Got 2 hatches. Nope, I'm right with you there, Nordic. I mess up some cardboard. No reason to kill an animal. Unless it's attacking you. Or it's like, damaging your property or something like that. There's no reason to. Okay, one of these has a latch on it, the other one does not. Let's see if we've got a trustworthy drawing. I bet I don't. No, I do. Okay, looks like it goes to the front. Yeah, and hunting guns aren't exactly something that I'd get really excited about shooting anyways. Hunting guns and all their weird calibers. Weird calibers because I'm used to military weapon caliber stuff. That all makes sense, but 243 and all that kind of weird stuff, that's just odd. You know, there's only 3 freaking girls. They're awfully noisy. It's almost like I don't even have the door closed. SMLE. Yep. No, you just have to decide, you know. You got to get enough use out of it to be worthwhile. So I decided, like, yeah, I don't want to get into rifles because what I'd want to get is a little too expensive. I can't really justify it for just shy of $2,000 just to get something just because. Just becomes not a good value. There's other things I'd rather spend a couple grand on than something that's only going to come out a couple times a year. These are crick-crocked a little bit. We should be good with that. Man, the other door is freaking huge. Like, who the hell's going in this freaking thing? Herman freaking Goering? He can get his fat ass in there. Alright, I'm out of beverage. I'll be right back. I actually would drop the money on an ounce Pennsylvania rifle. Only shoot it a few times a year. It would be worth it. Would be nice to look at it on the wall. Well, you know, some things. Good. All right. This insolent bastard. He don't piss me off now, boy. Let's undo this. Let's undo this. You're not going to see anything because it's going to be face down. Let me get this mount. This uppity mount. Alright, that's where it needs to be. And this is the other one. Oh, I can do all kinds of accents. Some better than others. You done pissed me off now, boy. I'm gonna be on you like a rat on a Cheeto. I got all kinds of warnings and shit. What is this? No, I don't want to. Man, what is it? Apple Music is such a pain in the ass. You disconnect from your car and it's just like still there in the background. Okay. I was thinking about you the other day, Nordic. I know you're a Led Zeppelin fan and kind of hemming it. Really? Kind of hemming and hawing to go see somebody in concert. But I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't want too bad enough. It's on a Tuesday and Thursday or something like that. And it's, I don't know if my brother would be interested in going, but kind of expensive anyways. Sammy Hagar and his band's in St. Augustine, very close by, and Bonham's son's playing drums for him. I didn't know that, and that's what I've been listening to the last couple days in the car. So, but man, ticket prices are expensive. Now what happened? I don't want to perform YouTube chat. What happened here? Why is there this? All right. You're about to see me get pissed. Okay? Let's get this message box to go away that I didn't ask for. X. All right. Don't work with Apple products. Well, we have Apple Music. I don't have Apple anything else. I don't know how it works. Okay. Where the hell were we other than the papers flying every which way? Well, you know, if I don't put the fan where it needs to be, then I'm gonna get hot. And I'm not a fan of getting hot. I think at this point, this chassis can take some road wheels. So now, we'll do step one. I got this friend of ours that I know pretty well. She's into music. She's a singer and stuff. And when we went on the cruise with them, there was a Beatles tribute band. Beatles impersonator makes it sound like they can't play music on their own. They're just, you know, they're just lip syncing. But no, they can play. And she would not go see them. She would not go see them. I had to go on the cruise again with different people, and I made it a point to go see them, and they were freaking awesome. They were really, really good. They were really, really good. So, I don't like all the Beatles music, but I fairly like half of it. half the songs, every other song, which I think is a pretty good amount, you know. But yeah, she's like, I don't like the Beatles at all. And I don't know why you dislike them so much, but okay. Everybody's got their reasons. 6 and 8 are the road wheels. All right. Now we have to consult the other sheet, so they can tell you which ones are 6s and which ones are 8s. Not that I couldn't figure it out on my own. Oh, well, the ones with the holes all the way through are the ones that go towards the end. Okay, cool. So yeah, it took me like 2 cruises to go see them. We just didn't make a priority. I would have gone to see them without them. We just kind of did everything else scheduled on there. But they were freaking awesome. They were really, really good. And the poor guy that impersonated John Lennon, he must have been picked on his entire freaking life. But you know what? When he went on stage to become John Lennon, he looked exactly like him. They were excellent. They were really, really good. But only the guy that was doing John Lennon even looked like the person he was impersonating, to be fair. But that didn't really matter. I mean, the sound was where it needed to be. Your mom saw John Bonham's son's band. Yeah, he used to work in the early 90s. He had a band called Bonham. They had one hit song. I don't remember what the hell it was, but yeah. So the band sounded just like Zeppelin. Yep. Well, I guess they gave him the rights to do it because, there's still other people in the band that were alive, probably when she saw it, that would be like, you can't play our music because 3/4 of us are still alive. I don't know. I don't know how that works with copyright. Maybe you got to ask Pretty Please or give them the credit or say, okay, you can play our music, but you got to give us this much per song. Or I'm not sure how all that lawyery stuff works. Here's the return rollers, which are unrealistic. They're one big sausage piece instead of being two different pieces. But I don't care. It's a War Games model. We're going to put Schertzen on it. You're probably not going to notice. I'm not going to spend $30 on an aftermarket kit for something that cost $8. So, point of diminishing returns. All correct. Robert Plant said Bonham's son can play any of their songs, as did Payne's and Jones. Well, good for them. That's a good attitude to have. I'd say it's probably unique. It's probably not that common, 'cause I've heard all kinds of issues with all that kind of stuff. Now what? So I don't know exactly how it works, who can play what stuff and who gets miffed at who, or Yeah, a band like Led Zeppelin, instead of replacing Bonham, decided to do solo projects. Not many successful bands would do that. I don't know. They all have their reasons. I don't. I heard once that the bands make all their money on the touring. The record stuff is small change. It's probably even smaller change now than it was 20 or 30 years ago. And there's bands that don't like to tour, and there's ones that tour all the time. I just know that I was very spoiled when I went to a concert in the early 90s and sat on the front row. And I'm like, I don't want to go to a concert unless I'm sitting here. You know, and a lot of times those are tickets you can't buy. I mean, you could be, you know, you gotta know a guy or win them or something like that. You know, mortals can't buy tickets like that. So it just so. Hold on one second. Yeah, the tickets you want, you know, they're either not humanly affordable by mortals or not available for purchase. So, but you know, I'm not a groupie type person. I'm like, I don't need to meet any of these people or hang out with them or, you know, I just want to be up close so it's, you know, you can see everything. You know, because generally the sound quality is not the same as a recording. Not even close. So you're going for the performance. So if you're too far away from the performance, you're not missing you're not seeing the whole thing. And a lot of the problems is you know they want you to buy a ticket, but you don't have an idea what it's going to look like from this place you're at. You know, you don't want to spend a couple $100 and realize, man, these seats suck, or you know, I don't see anything, or you know. Okay. Oh, was this one even glued in? Well, we're going to take it off now. Apparently it wasn't glued in well. Here is the tricky part. There we go. I got to put enough pressure on here, but I got to hold this thing back so we don't snap this off, but could always enlarge that hole a little bit. Go ahead, run with that. One of the 9-year-olds wants you to build a 148 Heinkel 111 next. That's because he's a little Nazi. He wants you to build the German thing. As I'm building a German thing. Oh, mine doesn't have mine's not going to have a swastika on it. Just saying. I want to get some Soviet air recognition flags. At least put one of my tanks with a big old red flag on top of it. Why not? Just adds a bit of color. It's got to be late in the war. Just keep your head down, comrade. It's 1941. Yeah, in 1941, don't put air recognition symbols on your tanks. You know, when the Red Air Force is ashes. It's really pretty amazing that they came back from all the stuff that was done to them. I mean, they lost like freaking 12,000 tanks or something like that in a few months. I know some of them didn't run. They still lost them. To print out a Soviet flag and glue it. I'm not doing the tinfoil thing. It's difficult to glue it on that stuff. Just regular paper's just fine. I've got some Nazi ones that I made. So what I do is I go and off of Wikipedia, get the flag, get on my drawing program, paint it like it's ripple, like it's got different things, then print that out. Works pretty well. I'm gonna leave the back plate off for right now. Okay, 35 and 36 go together to make the rear idler wheel. I did the tinfoil thing one time, and it sucked. It was a not fun experience. Probably wasn't holding my mouth right or something, but. Speaking of the Scharnhorst, I was in some naval forum or whatever, talking about something, and they were like, talking about the final battle of the Scharnhorst. And they were like, Duke York didn't have anything to worry about. Those 11-inch shells couldn't do anything. Like, really? I mean, sure, they're not as powerful as the 14s, but dude, they're high freaking velocity. I think it's the farthest elevation. Well, it didn't matter in that battle because it was short range, but I believe the guns on the Scharnhorst, and Gneisenau for that matter, the 11-inch guns, farthest firing piece of ordnance in World War II. You know, you go past the horizon and you can't spot the shell, so, you know, it's all, anything after like 30,000 yards, you're just basically, you know, firing blind anyways. You know, but that's a pretty freaking extreme range. But just to dismiss, that's like saying, oh, you can't kill anybody with a 22. All right, how about stand here and I'll hit you with the 22, so how you like it. You know? Okay, this is going to be a potential problem sometime in the future because there's no peg that goes in there. It came to me broken. So, with that understanding, we're going to move forward. I'm probably going to drill that out, put a T-pin in there, and just never have to worry about it ever again. I'll have to worry about the plastic around it breaking instead of the T-pin. You're not breaking a T-pin. All it takes is one lucky shot. That's right. All it takes is something to penetrate, to set something off that's already inside of you to self-rape yourself. It's almost kind of like, you can be blown up by your own stomach acid. So all you got to do is penetrate your stomach and get your own stomach acid to blow yourself up, kind of thing. You know, you don't even need the gunpowder of the incoming shell. You just need to set off the stuff that's already inside the ship. You do that, it's over. You know, because you have one penetrating hit. That's the high explosive that's the high explosive that's gone into you of one shell. Or you can have the high explosive of every shell that's inside of that magazine. Yeah, that's a phenomenal difference. So you could have a 5-inch shell set something up off. You know, game over, man. And the important thing is not even that you penetrate, but that you hit the other ship. Because if you don't hit the other ship, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, does it? That was one of the problems of the 15-inch guns of the Italian Navy. They're excellent weapons. Such high... No, is it the Littorio? Is it those guys that have the longest range and Scharnhorst is number 2? I don't remember. It's been so long. That actually might be what it is. But anyways, those 15-inch guns that are on the Italian battleships is an excellent weapon. But it was so high muzzle velocity that it would... You know, you would, after you fired each one like 80 times or something like that, you had to replace the liners. And they were so fast that the spread of the shells was really, you know, it was very hard for them to land a hit on the enemy. So even though they would have done nasty damage, if you can't hit the other guy, you know, it doesn't do any good. They could hold off on the Scharnhorst till October so you can have it complete by the anniversary of its sinking on December 26th. I believe, if I remember correctly, the way it was painted at sinking is dark in the middle, light on the ends. That's it. None of that fancy camo and stuff. It was just dark overall, and then the ends were painted lighter, you know, to make it look like it's a smaller silhouette. And obviously, if it's silhouetted, that doesn't really work. It's only if it's at a distance. I believe that's how it was painted when it was sank. Right, the sprockets. But a lot of the stuff that I know about paint schemes and stuff was based before really we had the internet. So like, I had to make up a lot of paint schemes on a lot of ships that there just wasn't any color pictures of them. So I got rid of all my 1/2400 scale ships 20 years ago probably, and I don't regret it because they would just be embarrassing by today's standards. But, you know, they might look good to other people, but you have to be happy with what they look like as the creator. Or you're going to be unsatisfied and not want to create more stuff. Now, let's make sure these sprockets are lined up. The teeth. Although we're probably going to take the teeth off the front. That's what we had to do with the other SE model. Because the teeth are always too big. Okay, time to do road wheel hell. Not really. It's not that big of a deal. Better than painting Roman galoshes. All right, we need 8 of each for each side. So that's 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these all right here. I ain't got time for that. That's gonna take longer to do it. We can use the clippers to trim it. So we got 4 here. Got those 4 there. One, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I'm not going to cut all the way up to it. The cutters are really handy when you're doing the small parts and they cut in place instead of bending first before they cut. That's half of them. The other half is this row up here. Okay, and the other half . 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's these 2. One of the things that will drive me back to miniature gaming is desire to just game World War II. Naval land battles, air combat. Air combat's so freaking hard to do. Air combat is just so hard to do in damn near any venue. You know, if you play a video game, it's bad. If you play a board game, you know, I don't know. And it's not that I dislike air combat. It's just that it's just really hard to get the right feel. I've seen people play miniature games with up on stands with micro armor scaled planes, and they look great. I'm just like, just really hard to get that right. You know, you play an air game, you almost have to play on some kind of hexes, but then it takes away from the look. I don't know. It's really easy for me to stay away from that. I'll build airplane models and not game it. I gotta be careful not to raise this seat about 3 inches, or I'm gonna be going to the hospital. It's amazing, 3 inches. How much 3 inches could make a difference? But I'm pretty sure I messed my neck up because of that. And I spent a lot of hours at this table painting and doing stuff, and never had an issue. It's pretty freaking comfortable here. First thing that gets tired on me is I got to get up and stand up because my ass gets tired. But other than that, it's pretty comfortable. Blood Red Skies sounds like a game that could be any game. It just sounds like a very familiar title. What was the name of that dystopian game that was set like in the 30s, but I had the video game for it. It's something like Blood Red Skies. It's got a title like that, similar to it. It's actually a kind of a fun game. I think it's dystopian 1930s. You got these different factions. The United States is it's like the Civil War or something like that. So you got like the American Indians have like this Messerschmitt type plane, and it's just kind of wacky, but you know, Warlord Games puts it out. I think they even partnered with Airfix to play it 1/72nd scale. I can't remember what it is. I had it for the original Xbox. Played it a lot. I'm actually pretty good at flight sims on consoles and stuff until parents decided to let consoles babysit their children, and you know, they don't go out and get jobs. They're just like nerd burglars that just sit around and fly around and play video games. You can't keep up with that. I mean, you know, I'm just a part-time video gamer, you know. I can't compete with, you know, man children in the basement. Mother-in-law has a couple kids down in Miami that live a couple houses down from her. I think they're close to 30 or whatever. And they've never had a job in their life and just sit around and play video games all day long. I'm like, man, I hope they're good at them. Imagine sucking at that too. The one thing you do, you're not good at it either. I used to be a lot more into it than I am now. And I'm like, I could do it for about an hour. After an hour, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I want to do something else. I can do this for a long time. At the end of the day, I have something to show for it. It's kind of social, thanks to you guys. You know, I feel good when I'm done. Not just, you know, you're frustrated because you've been fighting, you know, imps or whatever the hell it is, you know. They're constantly bothering you. You know, take a look at the map and you're getting attacked by imps. Like, Jesus, leave me alone. That's BS that they're near 30, never had a job, just play video games. Yep. They're fucked when their parents die. They are truly and completely fucked. The lifestyle that you're used to, you are about to have an apocalypse. Now, I don't want to be somebody who just like fucking works all the time and they never have any fun, you know, because those people, what they do is, and I talked about this the other day, is, you know, I don't really drink. I'm not a person like, I got to come home and have a drink from work. I come home and do this. This is my therapy, and this isn't going to hurt my liver. Well, sorry, I drink Coke, you know, Coke Zero. I'm not perfect, you know, but I don't really drink alcohol, so, you know, people that go in bars like, man, I got to unwind from work and shit like that. I don't need to do that. This takes me into my own fantasy land where everything is, you know, okay. So, I think it's a cheap, good hobby that keeps you from being an axe murderer or an alcoholic. But a lot of people, that's all they do is they work, they watch other people play sports on TV, and they drink alcohol. And I'm like, no. Not my shtick. Really? You're going to start with me? This entire room, and you're going to act out right here. Fold your ass, put you away. Make a noise now, motherfucker. So you can't be a slave to your job, but you need to have a freaking job. You know, you need to be productive, especially if it's like, well, if my parents die, I'm doomed. Well, you better keep them alive for a while, man. But that's that whole, oh, it's my child, I need to baby him. I didn't get babied when I couldn't wait to get out of the house I grew up in. I couldn't wait. I didn't have nothing while I was there. I mean, video games just aren't that exciting. And like I said, really, I'm in a bad mood when I'm done playing video games. Because, I'm fighting shit all the time and I'm being interrupted. I'm being screwed with while I'm like, Jesus, man, just leave me alone for a second. That's not. And really, at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. Nobody wants to hear about what you encountered. You don't have anything, no sense of accomplishment. So I'll play a little bit with the wife, the one game that we play, and we do one mission or whatever, and go back to doing other stuff. Oh. Tend to your laundry. I know that feeling. So this might be tedious, but it's not that tedious. I keep saying I need to stop painting the rubber on the road wheels because by the time I weather it, I can't tell it. But I'm like, this part of me just can't do it. Like, I know it's not painted. It doesn't take that long, anyways. I do a compromise. I don't paint the inside from the backside. That's just sadistically wasteful of time. Almost 2 hours still working on this. These things take time. keep wanting to buy some used stuff on eBay, just like in really bad shape, and try to fix it up. But I'm like, I got enough problems. Only 4 more to go. 3 more to go. And we should have a session in the morning for you morning junkies. Even though the 2 girls are supposedly sleeping over. The show must go on. Man, it sounds like there's like 8 people out there. There's only 3. Okay. Now, we'll drop a drop of glue on each one of these. And we'll do these backside ones. And on the front side, you should be able to drop one on the end. You can adjust these road wheels in a little bit. Oh, not in the camera? What the hell, man? There we go. I gotta put my hand up against this to keep it from, not that I'm jumpy, but who the hell wants unsteady hands? Okay, same thing on the other side. The laundry has been seen to. I done seen the laundry, and it's clean. Yeah, when I do the laundry, 90% of what we wash gets hung up. Except, you know, like my work pants, and damn near every shirt's hung up. I don't put them in the dryer. I don't put t-shirts in the dryer. It's a good way to end up with, you know, midriff t-shirts. Underwear, socks, towels, my work pants. That's pretty much what goes into the dryer. I don't believe I have any of my shirts go into the dryer. You get all misshapen and shit. Don't really mind doing the laundry. Doesn't really bug me. A lot worse things than doing the laundry. And we got a new washing machine a couple years ago. But I thought it's the coolest thing. It doesn't have a center. It's just one big hole. And you can fit a lot of stuff in there. There's so many settings on a washing machine nobody needs. And I don't use. You know, I don't wash anything warm. Doesn't bother me doing laundry. Nobody's going to do it for me. There you go. Well, you want to wear clean clothes? Yes. Yes, please. You need to do laundry. Don't be one of those. Don't want to be one of those people that doesn't wear deodorant or rewear shirts. Whew. Okay, this one's missing idler wheel. We'll deal with that at some later point. I'm fortunate that I've never had to use a coin laundry, ever. I may not have had a car, but I never had to use a coin laundry. Nerd Burglar Rick, he's nerding out with games probably. I think his Friday night's one of his big game nights or whatever. You know? His place would be fine to play games at. He keeps it cold as shit. I just don't want a game in a shed. Not gonna do it. I've suffered enough heat exhaustion throughout the week. That's gonna put me in a bad mood. Gaming doesn't pay enough to put me in a bad mood. And it's bad mood because of the environment, not necessarily, you know, winning. I don't give a shit about winning. I don't want to win every game. If you win every game, then okay, well, that's not a challenge. Do something else. Oh, really? All right, we'll put you in here first. Yeah, we'll put this around here, right here. Yeah. Then we'll slide this little yellow bastard, because it's yellow, in here. And now you can't help but be glued your ass in place. Used to be my game night as well, but the game store moved into a mall. I used to go in there and play games in that environment. Tell me about it. It wasn't bad temperature-wise walking today. Yeah, all it takes is a little bit of rain. I mean, it's just, you know, to be honest with you, it was in the mid to high 90s, and the real feel was over 120, 121, 122, I think is what it got up to today. At one point, probably about 9:30 in the morning, I went out, was walking the yard, work. I know that hot Armageddon is on the way. And I'm thinking, you know, it's not horrid if the sun isn't shining. And that's what it is. It's the sun freaking baking you, plus all that humidity. It's scalding. It's like freaking scalding. Yeah, still here in spirit, a little tired to say the least. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Well, when I get to be retired, if I ever get that chance, I'm definitely going to be a fan of taking naps. Because one thing I discovered, I actually don't like taking naps because sleeping is a waste of time. But if you're doing something that you really enjoy doing, like going on a cruise, and you take a nap, now you have 2 days out of every day. So now you have twice as many days. I don't know. It's just something psychological. You know, I wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning on the cruise, go out, have breakfast, have 2 or 3 Bloody Marys, have an early lunch, food coma for like, I wouldn't even eat that much. I mean, I actually eat less when I'm on a cruise ship because there's food available all times everywhere. Food coma nap, sleep for a couple hours, wake back up. Good to go. Yeah, I'm actually a fan of naps. But I don't want to do it when I only have 2 days off. I gotta squeeze every little bit out of enjoyment. Naps are good, slows down brain shrinkage. Yeah, some people don't need brain shrinkage. You won't be left with anything. Okay, it's everybody's favorite part. Let's put these evil tracks together. I need to go get something I can burn. I'll be right back. Tony playing with fire, that's right. Does the wife buy it? No. You should try it. Alright, we gotta kill the fan. I have no idea what candle smell this is. What is it? I hope it's not something cinnamony or some shit like that. Living by candlelight. It's a damn Yankee candle. What kind of bullshit's this? What's roasted coconut, peppercorn, basil? What? Interesting. What's this Yankee ass candle mother? Alright, let's cut these pieces off. And I am prepared to strengthen this with the power of a staple after we are done. Or before it gets on the vehicle, let's put it that way. You want to do all this and then have it pop off. Comrade Popov. This stuff, some of the stuff that's this color is weird. You put, well, not this, but plastic that's colored like this, like the color comes off of it on your fingers. It's weird. You like pumpkin spice smell scented candles. I like stuff that smells like the ocean. You like your house smelling like wicker picker, huh? Remember that place? Had those damn cinnamon stalks, man. Those make me want to like fight somebody. I can't stand the smell of it. I don't mind like cinnamon things if it's like, you know, Apple Jacks or something like that. I guess like fake cinnamon. But like real cinnamon, I no care for that smell. It's too pungent. All right, let's check for fit and finish on this thing before we get too carried away. Should be all right. This thing needs to be cleaned up. All right, what are we going to use as our candidate for squishy? Where's our squishy candidate? I really don't want to use the X-Acto knife. I feel like it dulls it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an old blade. Not one with milliput. That could catch fire. It is epoxy putty. Pretty sure epoxy putty is flammable. I'm going to put money that it is. Pumpkin pie? I like pumpkin pie. I'm not a cake person. I'm a pie person. All right, let's light this bitch up. Oh, wow. On the first one. This is the best stuff. This is the best deodorant, you know, if you go drop a bomb in your bathroom, just so you know. In case you didn't know that, I had a guy that came and visited me one time at, came and visited. That sounds not where I wanted to go with it, but he was a gamer. He came over to game. And he went back, shit, this was in the 90s or whatever. I lived by myself, and I had deodorant spray for the bathroom. And he went and took a dump in there, which, you know, you got to be really comfortable to take a dump at somebody else's house. I'm not. I'm a little too anal retentive for that, I guess. It's got to be an emergency for me to want to be able to do it. So, and he sprayed, and then left the freaking door, and then left the fan running and the door open. Like, okay, so now I get the noise. I have the shit mixed with the spray, and it's all over the fucking house. Like, dude, like, I'd be embarrassed as shit if I did it. I mean, I understand we all poop, but, you know, it's not something to be proud of. You like cheesecake, but prefer pumpkin pie. Too late, I said it. I forgot what the hell I forgot what the delay is too long. I lost in time. All right, let's hold this down and squeeze a shit out of this. All right. I love cheesecake. Man, I love cheesecake. probably going to put a staple on there for good measure. It doesn't really have a smell. We got ripped off by them damn Yankees. Oh, hold on. What the hell was I doing, man? I need to have my head examined. There we go. Key lime pie. Holy shit, that's good. Cheesecake. The problem with making a cheesecake is it'd be one serving. I freaking love cheesecake. It didn't have to be the fancy flavor either, just cheesecake flavor. What'd you see tonight? Oh, Tony was blowing. All right, let me take this out of here. All right, let's just get it over with. Never attempted to bake a cheesecake or pumpkin pie. Maybe I should in the near future. You know, I came across in my travels, I was on Amazon or something, and I came across a product that was called something like pie balls. It wasn't pie balls, but it was something like that. And what they were like these ceramic round weights that I think you put on like an apple pie to give it the the crumbly look at the top. I'm like, well, that's freaking cheating. That's supposed to happen naturally. It's called something else, but why'd you name the item Lena? Yeah. That's so when she takes it to school, all the other kids don't take her shit. All right. See if I can fuck this up on live camera. Nope. Smack in the middle. Oh, except it's not how I wanted to do it. I actually wanted to do it the other way around. That doesn't make that much of a difference. It's got to be facing the ground anyway, so. Nailed it. Still got to be careful with it, but it's a little bit more forgiving. If you don't do this and you melt this piece down, it's impossible to get it, and it pops out, it's impossible to get it right back in the same place. If I nail this right in the middle again, I'm going to take up sewing. No shit. I'm going to go get pink apron now. It's your daughter's name. I was thinking you just randomly named your stuff. If I was going to randomly name names this, I could be a little bit more creative than 4 letters. Although I did see somebody that did I think on one of the modeling websites, they had a picture today of like a Churchill AVRE. I believe it was a Churchill AVRE. Churchill 7 AVRE. I don't know if it was a Churchill 7, but... And they had custom made these fascines. Is that how you say it? Basically a bundle of sticks. I'm not going to tell you the other name for bundle of sticks. Let's not go there. But they had, and it was huge. I mean, it was 1/72nd scale. It was probably like freaking this big around. Very, very large. And I said, hey, a good nickname for that vehicle would be Twiggy. Because it was just like all a bunch of little toys. It looked great. You know, like they're just going to dump that in a trench and just drive over it. All right, let's see how close we are on the fit and finish on this thing. We're probably going to cut the teeth off the front. We're definitely going to cut the teeth off the front. Let's just do that now. And I did it before. Do you think I should at some point build a 232 paint lag? No, you need to come up with another creative name. Don't be stealing from other people. Jeez, how rude. I never did finish that Tamiya 232. These are brittle as shit. I never did. But that model was awesome. It was awesome. It is a complicated model, like with a lot of parts, but it just fit together like a glove. But again, it was the whole cogitation when I was doing 1/35th scale. Well, oh no, we need some fan action. You need to build 1/35th scale models. I don't know. Will I make it Africa Core? I don't know. What about Russian front? You just cogitate. Since you're only going to build one of them, you overthink what exactly that one is going to be. Is the hatch going to be open? Is the hatch going to be closed? I don't know. Do I want the Tank Commander? Well, the Tank Commander comes with a stupid goofy hat from 1939, so I got to order a different commander for it, you know. All that kind of shit stuck in your head. AFV Club make a nice 232. Main Churchill factory is close to where I grew up. They had one as a gate guardian. I always liked that tank. I'll be honest with you, I prefer the, here we go again, being honest. Oh, this is a pizza chip. Look at this. I just rotated this a little bit, and because this plastic's old, it like cracked and welded and broke. Like, I'll replace all these things with T-pins. I don't give a shit. You're not getting away from getting used. Sorry, you're going to the Russian front. Slacker Brummbar. All the more reason to cut these teeth off, to not put a ton of pressure on it. Well, we'll attempt to glue this back on, and if it doesn't work, then the problem is I don't know where the hell the T-pins are, because I did too good a job of cleaning them out of here. So let's just leave that like so and see if we can salvage it. If not, we'll go to the next plan. Get the epoxy. Absolutely. T-pin. So one of the reasons I stopped working on these tanks is I would encounter these issues that I didn't know how to deal with. So I had the Eschi 251 half track. And unfortunately, that one and the Tamiya one are based on some example that had riveted construction. Okay, and before the internet, if you look up for any pictures of the 251 half track, you never could, in Panzer colors and all that kind of stuff, you could never find a picture of a 251 that had riveted construction. And it was really annoying to have the manufacturers that were available for the 251 all had riveted construction 251s. But anyways, so I have this 251 with riveted construction from Eschi, and like this, it's got these kind of tracks. And I remember building it 30 years ago or whatever, and it's got these idler wheels on there. And I put them on there, and then I'm trying to stretch it, and I break it off. And I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I set it aside, didn't do anything with them. And, last September when I was starting to put everything back together again, I just haven't finished painting it, but it's fully built. I went and I put a T-pin. I drilled through here. I got pin vices. I drilled through there, epoxied it in place. Can't ever move, not going to. And then while I'm putting this side on, it all looks all nice and everything. And the idler wheel on the opposite side falls off. I'm like, well, screw you too. And I ended up replacing that one as well. So the T-pin works well because, it's a T on one end. So I know it's going to fit up against the side of this, and I can epoxy it in place, and it's not going to move. So it's handy as far, and they're cheap, and I have a ton of them anyways. So they work really well for that, and they're stainless steel or whatever. They're not. You're not going to bend that thing, So you ordered a pin vise with 48 drill bits. Should be here. Oh, well, hopefully you got it from somewhere that if they decide to send you something that's not representative of what you thought you were getting, you can return it quick, and hopefully you don't have to do that, and it works out for you. But there's a lot of pitfalls when you order things online. My track record, you just keep wanting to fall off. Well, you are going to, you know what? We're breaking you off too. You're going to have a buddy. All right, did we go fully halfway across? Looks like we went fully halfway across. We'll just do that on both of these, and we'll just glue these with the T-pins tomorrow. My track record's pretty good as far as ordering things and not getting garbage, but it's not your fault if you do. There's a lot of pitfalls sometimes they don't advertise things correctly. So I always try to, whatever it is that I buy it from, and that's why I like Amazon, because if it is a fail, it's relatively easy to do a return on it. I don't have to go to the post office. I don't have to pay for return shipping. It's pretty much hassle-free. And I haven't had to do it that many times. I'd rather buy it at a store, but they just don't have things in stores. Okay. Fortunately, I only had one order on eBay. It was garbage. Okay. We're going to go ahead and let's drill these bitches out. Let's remember that this is the old one. I got a whole set of drill bits that was Chinese garbage that every one of them were flat on the front. Like instead of it being tapered where it can like grab, no, they were just completely flat. They just would not work. They were just literally, you couldn't use them for anything. And that may be the same reason that it's junk. I don't want to put a ton of pressure behind this because I don't want this piece to become unglued. Should be popping through any minute. Any moment now. I haven't even messed with my Dremel tool. Just not wanting to get everything all set up and then we have to move. I don't know, maybe I should get it all set up so somebody come look at the house. Yeah, we have people come look at the house, but man, all of a sudden everybody looks at the house, has like 3 kids. Like, when the hell did people in America start having 3 kids? You guys need some hobbies, man. 3 kids is... I got 1, and that's plenty. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, so that's pre-drilled for a couple T-pins to go in there, along with these guys. I guess I should drill these guys out as well. I'm actually going to go down a size in this to make wrong matches, wrong match box. This one. What do you have behind door number 2? You inherited a Dremel. Yeah, I never had one. I had a knockoff, but it's just way too fast. So this one, you can literally do it to a crawl, which is really what you need. It's one of those things that I've wanted one for a long time. Like, if I don't get one now, the more I put getting it, the less use I'm going to get out of it. So let's just do it. I couldn't think of anything else that I wanted for my birthday. Fortunately, I didn't need anything. Like, let's just do it. I don't know what that is about this one. It's just not wanting to go into this plastic. It's not going any further than that. We could risk messing up the outside of it. Same thing there. All right, that's good to go. I actually like doing stuff like that. It's pretty empowering. Like the model kit says, nah, you're screwed. The hell I'm screwed. You're screwed. Asshole. Go ahead and drill this one out too. Got a great price of free, yeah. Anytime you can do that, that's just money you can spend on something else. We're not all made of money. Get your edge where you can. Man, that looks like it came on the model. Look at that. Should quit my day job. What do you want to do the rest of your life? I want to put holes in things. Okay. Nice. The great price of free. Well, there's less regrets at the great price of free. I know we got that whatchamacallit to put up there. That extra armor. We're going to need to gap fill the front here with some Vallejo putty. Oh, really? I better make sure that this stays glued, because if I put this thing together and somehow this infantry gun decides to fall out, that's going to be a freaking problem. I'm going to epoxy that thing in place. I don't have to worry about that anymore. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to actually have you used the compressor yet? Is it working well? Jeez, what time is it? Holy shit, 10:30? Man, you guys did a good job today, keeping me company. You know I always appreciate that. I don't know if I say that enough, but, you know, it makes a difference. You just reminded me I need to look up some photo etch instrument panels for the... Oh, the one thing I hate about planes, doing planes, instrument panels. Nobody sees that. This is all stuff on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this one off. Says the Moyle. We'll be back in the morning to catch up on this. Hopefully I'll start off the morning by finding T-pins and epoxying stuff. And yeah, then you don't have to worry about that stuff. Then only this idler wheel can come off this side. You don't have to put that much pressure on it if you end up yeah, it's fine. It's got enough flex in there. You just got to take those teeth off. So okay, guys, thanks for coming by, and